I'm looking for a fella called Goatskin. Do you know him?
Aye. But I reckon I ain't gonna tell you nothing.
Why not?
Because I don't know you. Although the way you're kitted out, you seem like you might fit in here.
I'll fit right in here. After all, I'm in the trade.
Funny, I ain't seen your mug before, though.
No, I ain't from this neck of the woods. I do business mostly out of Colleen, only the catchpoles there are on my heels. I done in this fucker what owed me a pile of glint, only the bugger turns out to be the son of a councillor, so I needs to lay low for a bit, see? A mate of mine sent me to see Goatskin. Says he owes him from way back and he'd get me fixed up like...
One of ours from Colleen. Well, that's another story. Our doors is always open to you fellas. What was it you wanted to know?
I'm looking for Goatskin. I hear he used to come here.
Aye. Thing is, ain't nobody seen him here for a few days.
But he used to come here?
Aye. He was here day in, day out. Only this time some burly lads came here and duffed him up proper.
I hate sweeping. Certainly, have no say.
Do you know the men who beat him up?
No, but there were some Jews among them, and that's pretty odd, seeing as how they don't usually get mixed up in nothing.
Why did they give him such a beating? Did they say anything?
Well, Goatskin is a right knobhead. Always asking for it, he is. But I reckon this time it was about his big gob. The last week he was coming, throwing glint around. And when we squeezed him about where he got the coin, he said he was spying for some lord.
And does this lord have a name?
He didn't say. We didn't swallow his yarn about spying anyway. We reckoned he made a score and just wanted to look like a big man.
What happened to Goatskin? Does anyone know where he is now?
No word. But I reckon he's holed up somewhere, licking his wounds. Seems he stuck his nose in a wasp's nest, and he won't be sticking it out again for a while. If you're going to look for him, try it at night. He don't stray far when he's on the job, usually between Hradec and the horse market. He goes after drunks, so I try asking in the local drinking dens.
All right. What does he look like, though? He can't be the only fella who likes to relieve drunks of their purses.
God's truth, but you'll know Goatskin when you see him. They call him that on account of how he got kicked in the head by a goat as a nipper. He's got a dent in his forehead you could use for a game of marbles.
Why didn't you defend Goatskin? Isn't he one of you?
He is and he ain't. I'm no saint, but that Goatskin stepped in some nasty shit and then walked it in our door and all. I ain't saying we don't look out for each other, but there's limits, innit?
I'm sure you know the town better than me. What drinking dens are there on Goatskin's patch?
Between the horse market and Hradec, there's the Black Horse, a miner's tavern. Wayman the taverner used to be a miner. And then there's the Big Bathhouse. It belongs to some bloke called Adam. He tarted the place up big.
Any others?
None I know.
Thanks. I'll go and look for him.
I wish you luck then. He ain't the brightest, but he's got a real talent for saving his own skin. Once you're done with him, come by and see us. Seems after all you're a pretty handy bloke. We could use the likes of you.
If you've got some job for me, you can tell me straight up. So what kind of work do you have for me?
A job worthy of your skills. But first, just a little test to see that you're not as dim-witted as that arsehole Goatskin. What is Wycliffe's first thesis?
Wycliffe's first thesis? What are you...
Not a good start. Second question. Which estate has the greatest reformatory potential?
The church?
I asked who should start the reform, not who should be reformed. A reformation is the last thing the church would want. The answer is the common people.
After our talk about goatskin, I didn't think you'd know about these things.
You thought we were just paupers who couldn't count to 5, didn't you? But now let's see who's the pauper. Last question. Who is the rightful king of Bohemia?
Wenceslas. There's no doubt about it.
Indeed. All right. Now let's talk about the job. Maybe this will disappoint you a little, but it concerns Wenceslas's brother. It's he who will secure your place in our humble company.
From what you've said, I gather you're not spying for Sigismund. It's rather the other way around, huh?
We call ourselves the Guild. We profess the ideals of equality and brotherhood. Our only law is the Holy Bible. Worldly justice is as fickle as a common whore, yielding to those who are in power.
Justice for me or the gallows. Aren't you afraid to end up there?
Friend, one must be willing to suffer for the truth. Sigismund is a usurper, and the church and the magistrates are but a lowly whore spreading her legs for Sigismund. As long as we go against Sigismund and honour the scripture, our souls remain pure.
What if I go and tell the bailiff you're calling him a whore? Just out of courtesy, you know?
Go ahead. Perhaps you are one of the lucky ones who are not harmed by Sigismund's presence in Bohemia. Maybe you don't mind selling a piece of your conscience by ratting us out. As for me, I will go to the town hall with my head held high. But you?
Are you going to do what we talked about?
Yeah, don't worry. I was just teasing you. I think the same of Sigismund. Tell me about your operation here.
We are who we are, and we do what we do. Like the early church of Jesus' apostles, in unity and fidelity to his words. I'm in charge. I plan all our missions. Goliath is the muscle. Knuckles, well, he mostly complains. But he also knows his way around locks. But we're all equal. We share the profits equally, but we don't do it for the wealth. We want to drive Sigismund out of this town.
How can I join you?
You want to join us already? I don't have to talk you into it. That's great. We're not particular about formalities. Let's just have a beer, and then you're one of us.
Here's to the guild.
To the Guild! That reminds me. I'd like to throw a feast for the poor. The bigger the better.
Didn't you say you were just ordinary people with no money?
We are. And this is where Sigismund comes in. Because he's going to pay for the feast out of his own pocket.
That was a good one. How are you going to make that happen?
Me? No. You'll make it all happen. Listen carefully. Sigismund seized land down in the valley near Pach and built his personal warehouse on it, right under our noses as a provocation. There he stores fancy foods and gifts for his commanders, and for that red-bearded gob of his. Sausages, smoked meats, foreign spices, and more. Fancy delicacies from Italy, Hungary, Slavonia, and all the other shitholes where he owns land. While we're eating porridge and cabbage all the time. You will steal all the food you can carry from that warehouse. And as a nice token, you will leave there... Let's see... What would you leave there?
That cabbage you said you were eating all the time?
Brilliant! Get at least one head from the greengrocer and leave it there for Sigismund. Let him eat for once what we have in our bowls almost every day. But I'm warning you right now, no violence. Don't even think about slitting anyone's throat in that warehouse. The job isn't to punish some poor sod on guard duty. Is that clear?
Got it. What should I do with the stolen food?
You'll give it to the beggars. Let them feast like kings for once. It's not hard to find poor people in the town. Just go to the gates or churches, and you'll surely come across some. There are also tents full of them in Minor Street, Church Street or Cobbler Street. When you're done, come and see me, and we'll figure out what to do next.
Sigismund will be fucking livid he can't enjoy his fine sausages. Can I expect any help from you?
If you need some tools, stop by Knuckles. That's all I can help you with.
All right. I'll head out.
Good luck.
Well...
It looks like Mole is pretty certain you're gonna win. Is it true no one's ever defeated you?
Oh, I reckon it's really true. But it wasn't for lack of them trying, you know.
Where'd you learn to fight like that?
My father gave me thrashings when I was little. He only stopped when I broke both his hands. Ever since then, no one's defeated me.
Tell me more about the guild.
Look, I'm not much of a talker. You should ask Chenyek. All I can tell you is that we're a good bunch of nice people. Poor, but kind.
Tell me, how did you end up here? And what do you do here?
Chenyek pulled me out of the ditch and offered me a new life. Literally. I've been helping him with his the thing he's doing.
You say that like it doesn't matter to you one bit.
Chenyek matters to me. He's a great friend, and I owe him a lot. I believe what he's doing is right.
So you just do what he tells you?
Pretty much. And since I've been doing it, my life has been so much better.
Don't you have some plans and aims of your own?
When Chenyek gets what he wants, I'll open my own tavern. Until then, I'll be at his beck and call.
You don't seem to have many opinions of your own, do you?
What good would they do me? Everything Chenyek says makes sense to me. At least the parts I understand. So why come up with something on my own?
Shall we fight?
No problem. So, come and bet. You can't take any groschen to the grave anyway.
Well, why not? Here you go.
Now, say goodbye to your life.
Kick his teeth out the other side of his
Wicked! Come on then. You lousy bastard! I've been crushing men's bones for so long, and then this squirt comes along and... Fuck me!
You know how it is. Everything has to end someday.
Yeah, fuck you. You should tell Mole about it. His head's gonna explode when he hears you beat me. Maybe I'll inherit this place then.
I won all the fights.
No fucking way! Goliath isn't the undefeated champion anymore? Who'd have reckoned?
It couldn't last forever.
Anyway, the reward is yours. Here you go. One for Damian, another for Zavish, the third for Goliath, and a fourth one, just for surviving.
Thanks.
They have similar, but much more boring, entertainment in Horshan. Young Brutans runs things there. Tomlin. And I heard blokes from Prague and Miskovitz were recently in a brawl. I don't know who won, but it must have been a pretty dance.
Thanks for the advice.
Anyway, you beat the best here. That's not going to discourage them, so feel free to come back sometime. If nothing else, people like to gorp at it. And when their throat dries out from all that kibitzing, then business is booming.
Where did the skeleton come from?
Ah, another newcomer who hasn't heard of Hugo. I'm happy to tell you because it's a hilarious tale. Have you got the time?
I sure do. Tell me.
Well, then, 10 years ago, back when the tavern belonged to another fella, miners used to gather here and play Miners are not very rich, and they often lost what little their wives were understandably pissed off. So they clubbed together to buy a skeleton of a hanged man from the executioner, and they hid it in the cupboard where the miners kept their dice, thinking they would take it as a sign. But when the drunken men opened the cupboard and saw the skeleton, they sat it down next to them, gave her a drink.
The wives' plan didn't work out so well.
The miners don't come here anymore. The miners don't come here anymore. But Hugo, as he came to be, I'm telling you, he'll be still sitting. Good story, right?
Great. I'd have a drink with Hugo. What's new in the city?
Nothing much.
Good day to